St. Louis has a rich tradition as the biobelt of the country, with its large and growing businesses and institutions geared toward plant and medical sciences and biotechnology. However, the demand for talent in this vital economic sector far outpaces the supply of qualified scientists, not only in our region, but others across the country as well. Since 2015, the Greenhouse Venture has advanced a rare collaborative model to meet that demand, partnering with elementary schools, universities, the Missouri Department of Transportation, various institutions, and community leaders. Through this collaboration, we have created an innovative STEM education program designed to expand education in bioscience and urban agriculture at the elementary school level, ultimately contributing to workforce development that leads to more students pursuing careers in science. This video features 5 community leaders commenting on the exceptional contributions being made to elementary school students who are participating in the Venture's unique program. They also underscore its importance to advancing the region's future prominence as a leading center of research and development in bioscience and urban agriculture. Very few elementary schools have the resources to provide students with advanced education in subjects like bioscience, urban agriculture, nutrition, and dietetics. That's especially true in the urban core, where many students don't even believe they can really become scientists. Mike Gregory, the head of school for Tower Grove Christian Academy, explains how the Greenhouse Venture opened up a whole new world of learning and career opportunities for his students.
Being in a private school, there's part of the education curriculum that we just don't have, and it was bioscience. And I jumped on board right away because I want our kids to learn how to grow food, and especially in a sustainable way for the future. The Alliance is a group that not only teaches bioscience, not only teaches aquaponics, agriculture in the urban area, but also it brings communities of people together. Remove boundaries, remove walls. And what really excites me is that our students at Tower Grove get to participate in a diverse group by partnering with 3 other schools. And also bringing our kids outside of the building, teaching them that the classroom is not just internal, but it's external as well. Teaching them as a young age that, especially in the urban environment, many young kids do not believe they can be scientists, but engaging them at an early age that science is fun, watching them as young scientists test soil, but not only with their peers at their school, but peers from 3 other different schools. It just excites me. Because GHV makes science fun, it excites them, and so learning become a fun thing instead of just as another thing in the classroom. That's one of the things I have really excited me about GHV as well, the after school program, that kids are not just put into a classroom where they've been sitting all day. Now students are using their hands as hands on hand. Science teachers are only, have so many skills, have so many things they can do in the classroom. And this partnership come alongside of them and is able to offer them additional resources that they can use to teach at a different level and at a higher level as well. A lot of programs come and go, but this is something, especially food, sustainability, and agriculture, that's what America's been built upon. And that's something I believe that the Greenhouse Venture program is not only gonna affect the Shaw neighborhood or our region, that it has potential to affect on a global scale. And our kids can be, young pioneers at that is started right here, and it'll be multiplied across the country.
One of the hallmarks of the Greenhouse Venture is its emphasis on real-world, hands-on learning. Deborah Patterson, a community volunteer throughout the St. Louis region, emphasizes the importance of the Venture's unique learning methods, giving students relevant experiences in critical thinking and problem solving that are vital for science education to take root and leave a lasting impact.
I would say the Greenhouse Venture, for me personally, and professionally fits into a lot of my boxes because I've always been about lifting people up. When I think about science education, I think about what young people learn. They learn critical thinking, they learn problem solving, they learn that there are many ways to solve a problem, that there are many times no wrong answer. They learn deductive reasoning. They learn, it lays a foundation for them to learn design. So, and it builds confidence. And I think that's what a lot of our under-resourced children don't have access to, is to be in an environment that teaches confidence, that it is okay if you don't get it this time, because that's how science works. And I also think with confidence comes persistence. And if we want these young people to end up in our workforce, then we have to give them the confidence to persist, because it gets harder and harder as you go up the level in science. What we know is that in science education, what's really important is experiences, relevant experiences. So when I think about climate and agriculture and students working on those particular issues that are relevant to their community, relevant to our national security, relevant to the world, it's fantastic. I couldn't say enough good things about the path that has been taken.
At their very best, schools are much more than centers of learning. They enrich the vitality of the entire neighborhood in which they educate our children. Sean Spencer, the executive director of the Tower Grove Community Development Corporation, explains how the greenhouse venture contributes to the bigger picture of revitalization in the city's historic Shaw neighborhood.
Tower Grove Neighborhood CDC has facilitated or developed over $10 million on DeTonti Street alone. So this greenhouse venture campus is the last component to complete the revitalization of DeTonti, the street, which also helps the Shaw neighborhood. The Shaw neighborhood is a major asset to the city of St. Louis, and it is one of the greatest revitalization projects or stories that we can tell. The relationship with the greenhouse venture and this vacant lot is about pumping additional investment into a neighborhood that creates an inflection point of additional investment to come behind it. And that the additional investment behind it is really about the people that are going to follow and become our neighbors and our city residents. The result is going to be a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of attention to the Shaw neighborhood. But it's not just going to be about the physical development, it's going to be about the stakeholders, the collaboration, the way that our neighbors and neighborhood are working together to bring something that's never been done before to the forefront. And I think that's ultimately the goal of the program.
The future of the St. Louis region relies heavily on how well we can leverage and sustain the rich resources and assets that area businesses and institutions already possess in the areas of bioscience and agriculture. Sam Fiorello, President and CEO of the Cortex Innovation Community, explains the importance of what the greenhouse venture is doing to equip promising young students with the knowledge and the inspiration to pursue careers in science that will keep our community at the forefront of the nation's vital scientific advances.
One of the reasons I actually decided to go after the Cortex job and leave a great job is because I really thought that I had a bigger chance to move the needle in our region for diversity, equity, inclusion issues. I heard Bill Gates once say that ability is universally distributed, opportunity isn't, right? So every single boy and girl born in the world has the same potential for greatness that any of us, but it's the opportunity gap. And so I think that there are things that we can do to bridge that opportunity gap. The greenhouse venture is an example of that. We're going to create partnerships and training programs. We're going to find ways to bring people into the fold. We're going to build things like a greenhouse where children can come and experience something like experiments happening in a greenhouse and what it does for plants and what that means, and gives them a connection to the sort of abstract, acronym called STEM. I've talked to a lot of employers in the last year. They get it, that it's talent that's going to drive their business. It's, Cortex is a lot of things. There's bricks and mortar and special space, and that's great, but it's going to come down to the people, the talent. And there's a recognition that you can't intervene when somebody is a junior in high school. It's too late. When do we intervene? I'm not sure exactly, but my guess is it's before they even get to middle school. And by intervene, I mean to light a fire, a spark of what STEM means in a way that they can understand. Whether it's, watching a race car and understanding sort of that's the physics of what's happening, or in this case, plants. And, every kid sees plants around them. And so it's something they can relate to, because big part of the problem is just this hurdle of STEM, science, technology, engineering, math is a concept and it's not for me and I'm not good in math. But when you can ground it in real world things that these kids and then older kids and then employees can understand, that's the way we're going to pull it, right? It's that experiential learning. And I think a critical component is that tactile. To be able to touch something helps to build sort of neural pathways.
The centerpiece of the Greenhouse Venture's overall plans is the upcoming construction of a state-of-the-art education center. Located directly across our 3.5-acre embankment greenway along Interstate Highway 44, the Education Center will feature a number of advanced methods for growing and producing food year-round in the heart of the city. The architecture firm, UIC, has been engaged to design the center and lead its construction. Co-owner and lead designer, Sarah Gibson, talks about what makes the center a groundbreaking educational facility and why it is important to the community and her own family.
I am a parent at the school, one of the schools that the Greenhouse Venture is serving or will serve. And I think that I have a couple of kids that are much more hands-on learners, which I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Being an architect, I like working with my hands and drawing and expressing myself in different ways. Just that ability for children to learn differently, so that they're not just learning from a book, but they actually get that hands-on experience. They're not just testing the acidity of something by sticking a little strip in a test tube, but they're actually, seeing how that sort of the pH balance and the acidity work and things like that, just by being able to understand, what that means in real life, and through the aquaponics system, then they can sort of see what it means for the water in the system to be more acidic or have a different pH or things like that. Another curriculum and kind of part of the building that we are really working to design into it is the ability to share information from the building. So as the kids are learning, as lectures are being given, as experiments are being done, then the building should be or will be equipped with a lot of different technology that will allow those lessons to be shared over the internet, where other students in other schools can learn, and then sometimes the students don't even have to be in the building. They can actually just be in their classroom and learn from another experiment that's being done. Part of the idea when we designed the building was that when you did walk into the lobby space, you would be able to see into the greenhouse, which is where the aquaponics are taking place. You'll be able to see those gardening beds and the fish tanks that are part of that, the aquaculture part of the aquaponics system. You'll also be able to see the process of kind of start to finish of how the aquaponics happen. The sprout room, where the process first starts, so all of the plants start there. Beyond that, you see the food processing. So once the plants come out of the gardening beds and they go into the food processing room, and then you have the greenhouse, which is beyond that, where all of that growing is taking place. One of the coolest things about it, I think, is that it is a closed loop system. So it's very sustainable. It's a very low waste system, and it's closed loop. I think that that's just kind of, there's just the harmony in that. There's something just very poetic about it. That the plants and the fish kind of coexist, and then there's nothing nothing kind of is wasted from that system. It's one of those projects that you really feel philosophically aligned with. I mean, these are a lot of things that am really passionate about, you know, from a community standpoint, and then also just from the science standpoint as well. The local food production, being able to potentially take this type of technology to, say, food deserts, things like that. So the community impact. I mean, from that standpoint, I feel really lucky to be working on a project like this.
Everyone associated with the Greenhouse Venture is deeply grateful for the extraordinary support and heartfelt endorsement we have received for our work from so many organizations and individuals throughout the community. Thanks to that ongoing support and the growing interest in this rare venture, we are well on our way to realizing our ultimate goal: to educate, excite, and equip the next generation of young leaders as they face the challenges of feeding the ever-growing populations in major urban centers across our country.